half Russian, half Hispanic, and half American. The guy goes, that's 150%. But yeah, she was a big woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, baby.
Kerner, do you want to be in the frame at all?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just don't know if you actually want to be seen. You trying to hide? Do you still got that 1/4 sunburn?
Yeah, my neck kind of got sunburned too, but oh well. I'll survive.
You can look up here as a reference to where you are, by the way, if you want to adjust.
Careless and hairless.
Hey, everyone, shut up for a second.
Okay, kids, let's go.
Look at my new device.
There has been an awakening.
Yeah.
Have you felt it?
We are woke.
Awakenings.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello.
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and
R2 hand disease.
Hello there.
R2 hand job.
Looking. Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. Rogue Squadron Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody.
With us, we've got
Lord Kerner.
Lord Kerner.
My neck is still reeling from the concert that we went to last night.
What concert did you go to?
Norma Jean.
And who did you go with?
Fit for a King. All right, that was the other band. I went with these jackasses.
Jack Holes.
And Glass Armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Also, Currents was there. Currents is a good band. So, yeah, I got a little out of control, but within reason. That doesn't make any sense. It was out of control. Normal.
In a good way.
In a good way.
I mean, any metal show is going to be mildly out of control. You got moshing, you got beer.
Someone threw up.
You got sweat. Somebody did throw up right in the mosh pit, man.
Dude, how's that happen? I didn't
He's
see that.
hammered, and it looks like he had some fettuccine Alfredo earlier in the day.
Yeah, it looks like he just straight up just had Sprite and, like, lasagna.
And then it was on the floor. Everybody chilled the fuck out, though, and, like, made a little room, and then one of the bartenders came over and mopped it up, and everyone cheered for her.
Okay. I was going to say, when I did my crowd surfing, I didn't see any of that going on.
It was just, like, 6 of us holding our phones with our lights turned on so people could see it, and just, like, headbanging what was happening.
I had no idea where you guys were for, like, an hour.
Well, you were up there in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Getting that good view.
Getting down bead.
I only knew the one song, the finale song. Pissed off.
God, that one lady was so
Dude.
mad.
Yeah, Midget Extreme.
What happened?
I got down bead.
There was a girl right in front of us, but we were at the edge of the mosh pit. So, like, every time it came our way, we would get bumped a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And we kept bumping into her. And I'm like, it's a metal show with a mosh pit. I don't know what you expect.
There's
Why
a
are you
man
here?
3 times the size of everybody rushing into me.
And
I'm going to bump into
Oh,
you.
I think I saw that guy. Yeah, he was a big giant dude.
No,
Yeah.
and she
He looked
turned
like
around.
he looked like a Gamorrean, actually, just in the middle.
Similar.
He did he not? I think I know you guys are talking about.
I don't know.
I looked behind me and went, whoa.
No,
I'm
but
staying
she
away from
turned
that.
around and looked like somebody called her the wrong pronoun, and she kicked you in the nutsack.
She
like
she
for
did
real?
a punch, and then she did like a jump kick, but it felt like this.
It's just like, hey, please
Oh,
move, please.
So it felt like nothing.
But she was pissed, and I was like, dude.
It's funny. Like, you just
First
don't
of
know
all,
what you're
it's
expecting.
So she was just mad that you guys were accidentally bumping into her.
She made it sound. She made it like I was purposely just ramming
you're
into her,
not, no.
and it's like, no, I'm also getting shoved.
I
That's
felt
the
like-
point of a pit.
Dude, I felt like Ron Burgundy. I was just like, check my parameters. You know?
I don't get the
Remember,
reference.
remember that part?
I actually hate you now.
What? How do you know what part I'm talking about? When fucking
right.
the other news teams comes and talk shit.
Good day, Galaxy. So yeah, metal concert last night. The Mopar Nationals were this weekend, so got to see a bunch of my brethren.
Sad you didn't buy anything.
Hillbilly Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing but, hairless Jabberwockies. And I've never seen so many overalls.
Such a weird crowd.
Overalls are coming back. That's what my takeaway from the Mopar Nationals is.
That's all you learned?
Ketchup stains are in.
Ketchup stains are in. Ketchup stains and oil.
Ketchup
They're
stains
in.
and dirty hands. That's the key. But yeah,
Yep.
so we did that.
And people talking about stuff I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, this is your standard. I'm like,
No one's ever said standard.
look at this fiber.
It's your standard
shit.
posse
Fiber!
track.
This is your protein
I'm
pack.
like, what?
I don't know.
I thought that with the black truck, you guys were like knocking on it, like, oh, this is hollow. What is this?
Yeah, but where'd you get, like, pre-workout from?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to even refer to that.
Why am I downhill?
See, that's what I mean. I have like no idea what to even talk
I'm
about.
antsy, man.
Why?
Antsy. I don't know.
you want a beer?
I guess.
I had
Is that what
some
you're
guy
antsy about?
offer me $7,500.
Do we have glasses? Enough?
Well, Kerner's not drinking, so there's 2 glasses there.
All right, we'll
'Cause
try.
Kerner's got to drive home because he's a savage.
Mhm.
So this is the second of the 3 beers that we got gifted to us by Levity Brewing that we had on $1.99. We got 2 wild ales. Which one are you gonna pick, brah?
I pick the flannel one.
Ooh yeah.
God, those are big.
Church Key. We
No.
got 2 of them here.
They're like a glass and a half. Yeah, maybe a little more.
But yeah, this is a continuation of the Levity Brewing. They gave us 3 different styles, so we've already had one of them. And we'll continue on to number 2, which is the high-end flannel, an
Number
American wild ale. Again, they're out of Indiana, Pennsylvania, but they were really nice to me. So, and really nice to us because we're drinking it out of their glasses as well. So, I don't know why I got excited. More out.
I'm pouring this.
Open this for me.
I don't have a.
The opener's in
It's
front
like
of
right
me.
in front of you.
Hold on.
Supposed to use your teeth, you dumb bitch.
Looks like a keyblade from Kingdom Hearts you're opening it with.
I don't understand.
In other
that
words, it
reference.
looks like a key.
Do you not play Kingdom Hearts? What the hell's the matter with you? Shinobi will understand that reference.
So this is called the high-end flannel. Mopar, I don't know how much info you gave. Pretty cool friggin' bottle design here. I'm with it. Levity's logo is also just
Sip
Pennsylvania with the text inside. I think that's funny. They're all about the Pennsylvanians.
Giblets Extreme.
7.5% alcohol by volume. It's a wild ale.
Smell to it. Is that standard for wild ales? Does it have a?
It is very wild smelling.
I honestly don't know.
Well, I'm going to actually do this real quick before we officially start drinking because I do want to recollect, reconcile what the actual wild ale is. Wild ale refers to beers brewed in America using yeast or bacteria in addition to Saccharomyces cerevisiae and fermentation. Such beers may be similar to traditional beers such as lambics, fermented using a strain of Bread Anonymous for part, which we had in the last one.
Yeah, Brett.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too detailed of an explanation. I just wanted to say like,
it makes.
Yeah, so it looks like they're using some type of bacteria in conjunction with the yeast. So
beers that are introduced to wild yeast or bacteria. And then-
uncontrolled. These are anarchy yeasts.
Joker's shit.
These yeasts have tattoos above the neck.
may occur from oak barrels, so it might happen from aging,
I haven't had a sip yet.
or
Me
it
neither.
might happen from sour mash techniques. So, cool.
All right.
Yeah, so it is similar to a sour or a barrel aged. I already did that.
Yeah, but hold it further.
I already did that. I have longer arms.
Look, no.
All right.
Good
Burp
day.
it in the mic. That's
So
one of your
cheers,
rules.
Kerner. Stop all what you're doing. Cheers.
To the Rise of Skywalker.
These beers are whoa.
Oh man, that's rough.
Potent in many ways.
Potent in many ways. Yes.
It kind of felt like I was drinking
3 beers in one. This is like your opposite
Felt
standard.
like round 2 in Fear Factor for me.
rubber cement.
Of course, I'm not in a drinking mood at all, so maybe I shouldn't even like make any comments.
I'm
on
glad
that.
you're not in a jerking mood tonight while you're in the studio.
Seriously, you need to calm down with that.
Drink.
Shouts out Tommy Puig, Caden Patrick. That's Shinobi. I'm just kidding. Richard Merce,
What's up?
Merce, and Thinkable TV.
Yes, this is Kerner Shinobi.
Yeah, he's right there.
I am.
Kerner
I
approves this
doppelganger.
message.
I doppelgangered here. It's not really me, but I'm.
Bringing down the quality of the podcast with every phrase.
Who has ever said that? That's not really me.
I'm doing.
I'm actively not really me
It's a
right
joke.
now.
It's what Luke did.
Is that what
joke.
happened?
Yes.
Is that what
Do
happened?
you remember
He's
that
trying to
part?
say that. No, I don't remember. That he's still in Cleveland, and this is his forced projection.
Exactly.
Edward Nigma. Enigma.
All right, so this really like knocked my teeth out on the very first sip, but having it again, it doesn't seem quite as bad.
Yeah, I can have one.
It's a
more
lot to
sip.
get through. It's a roller coaster of emotions, guys.
I never.
This
really,
is like the dark side.
I never really have American ales ever. I only have
Wild ales.
IPAs only.
The wild is the key.
I tell you
So-
what, these last couple nights that I've drank, those fucking IPAs are strong. I'm just like
Yeah, got
seeing
fucked
stars.
up real quick.
I'm seeing stars for like 4 beers. Like, what the fuck? Am I just a pussy or am I just this strong?
A dash of
A
everything.
little bit of both. Yeah,
I think a little bit of both.
Some of that vegit.
Jet. know what I say?
So what are you thinking on this flannel one?
Oh man, these ones are always really hard to rate because
They're so unique.
they're unique and they're very extreme too. It's like if you take a triple IPA, even if it's delicious, are you gonna give it a 3? Because it's possibly insane.
I guess what I would, if I'm talking
actually
to
not
just a person who just enjoys beer, this doesn't taste like a beer per se.
Right.
This is on the outskirts. This is the Tatooine, like of the beer realm, where you're getting into something else here. This, but it drinks like a beer though. It is very bubbly.
This is the shit that Obi-Wan drank in the cantina when he was depressed as fuck. Is that shit still canon? They use like an alcoholic, or is that gone?
I don't think that was ever canon.
That was a
We
thing.
made that up because it was funny.
No, that was a thing.
I don't know if it was.
Who's read the Obi-Wan book? That's not canon anymore, is it though?
No, because we said Obi-Wan Kabuzi, and we just went with it, and we thought it was funny.
No.
Sorry, I'm adjusting the camera right now because I
Pretty
can't see
sure.
everybody.
Obi-Wan Kabuzi was from that.
Dude, in episode 2, he goes and gets a drink. He says, "Fuck off, Anakin, go find this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go drink."
I'm gonna go grab a drink. Yeah, he does drink.
Or a drink. And my hair looks better than
He
yours.
gets one drink in the canteen. It doesn't make him an alcoholic.
In the Jedi's dogmatic, narrow-minded point of view, yeah. What'd you do today? I grabbed a drink.
Actually,
What?
that's-
Oh my God.
That's an interesting thing to think about. Like how casually he just like, you deal with this. I'm gonna chug. Over in the corner. Like, is that against the Jedi code in any way?
Right after he just jumped out of a window.
It was happy hour. Jesus Christ! Not gonna not buy.
I saved money.
He's trying to place bets on that digital alien tennis game that was going on.
Is that like a thing? Do they like check what the Jedi spend their money on? Their credits on?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, why'd
Do
you
they get
spend
paid?
He has to submit his receipts
Well, yeah,
for
you have to
reimbursement.
get paid. That's a good point. They never talk about that. Are Jedi like getting paid?
That'll be $350. No, it won't.
Like, is
Okay,
Yoda-
here
is-
you go.
Is Yoda paid like 1 million credits a year, and then Mace is like
No, I don't think they make money,
1,000?
but they obviously have money because they have to go on missions and they need to buy things.
It's
It
probably-
just-
The council is funded and they have to upkeep the chambers and everything. So.
Just invoice the council. Send them my bill.
Yeah, what's
Exactly.
the PO number though?
PO is Yoda hates me.
we know Dooku's rich, but that's just because his family was rich.
Count Dooku.
Crown Roku.
So that's a good segue into what we're going to be getting into later.
What are we getting into later?
I finished the Count Dooku audiobook, which Commander had also finished a few weeks ago.
Oh, did you now?
So we'll converse on that.
Good. Sorry, I'm just tinkering here.
Outside of that, we're
haven't
just
read
going to kind of ramble through this one. Let's finish up this, and then we'll get into Guess the Scene, and then we're
Ooh.
off.
I was on point last week with Guess the Scene. Sorry.
Less of that.
I was excited that I got perfect last week. The Yoda lifting or Luke lifting rocks. I was right on. Remember that?
15 rocks.
15 rocks. That's why you fail, bitch. All right. What are you thinking?
You're gonna cheers again?
I would actually give that a 2. It's just
Really? That's interesting
yeah.
that you said that.
After my second sip, I'm like, it's actually not bad. It's just you're catching me in a non-drinking mood, and after drinking 2 days in a row.
It's hard because I have no reference. I have no reference point. Like I don't know what other wild ales, what's an extreme wild ale, what's a drinkable wild ale, what's the middle ground.
I think a 1 is a good rating for these kinds of beers because 1 does not necessarily mean that it doesn't taste good. It's just it's worth trying because if you just want to hang out and have some beers, like you're never going to pick up something like this. It's too extreme for that. This is more of like you go to a beer tasting and you have a sample of this with a couple other things.
I'm trying to think because I wouldn't necessarily say even if you were like a dark beer fan that you would be a fan of
Fly is
this.
pissing me off. Sorry, keep going.
I'm distracted in another means.
Oh my god! I knew
You
something.
see this?
I
you see
wanted
this
Turner
deal?
was gonna say
You
something.
see this deal going on? 50% off.
That what is that? Everdama? Oh man, that ad.
I don't know.
Better turn that ad off.
Veget.
Veget, bruh.
But my point is, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the reference point is. So
Yeah.
if like I was a stout fan, I don't know if this correlates to stouts because I think they drink completely different. I think this is a lot more aerated, a lot more bubbles, but it has such like maybe closer to a sour, like a heavy sour, which is a little different. I guess in my pea brain of a thought process compartments, that's where it would land for me.
Yeah, people do make the correlation between sours and American wilds.
There you go.
Wilds in general, I would say. So
So-
yeah, I'm good with a 1. I think it's totally fair.
I agree. Yeah. But definitely try it. Yeah, if you're a sour fan, I would definitely try this. Otherwise, yeah, catch up Levity in Indiana, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, it gets confusing. Indiana is a county and a city in Pennsylvania. So, strong 1 out of 3. Definitely go try it again.
And recap.
High end
For
flannel.
people that aren't familiar and wondering why we gave it a 1 out of 10. We didn't. It's a 1 out of 3. 3 is amazing. 2 is great. 1 is worth trying, which this is. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's not amazing. And then 0 is like, what the fuck?
So wait, what is 2 again? I said 2.
Really good. Very strong.
Great.
Yeah.
And then like 3's an everyday. Like,
I
holy
guess-
shit, this is awesome.
I don't know.
We
I-
simplified it for just you,
The
and you
guest-
still don't get it.
I base mine off
The
of
guess rating doesn't matter anyways.
Oh man.
That's true.
So only a tiebreaker, which even then we just usually just
decide
one of
for
us
you.
change. One of us changes our number.
We decide for you.
Yeah. So
Strong 1.
yeah. So 1.
End of that. Thank you, Levity, by the way. Again, they sent us beers and
appreciation.
glasses. So cheers to them. As we sip on this, as we get into
What are we getting into?
let's
Duco, I thought.
imagine the scene.
Oh, guess
So
the scene first.
here I am.
Develop the motion picture scene.
We're doing episode 8.
Let's do episode.
Okay.
Actually,
We're
let's-
doing 8.
Just kidding.
66.
Old That's a
66.
866 is going to be the guess the scene this time.
All right, so 1 hour 6. All right.
This is going to be extremely difficult because this is like episode 5 where it jumps around so fucking much
Yeah, it does.
after the initial scene.
Sorry, I keep adjusting my mic.
So where do you think what is happening halfway through? Where are we at?
Sorry, everybody.
I'm thinking they're on Canto Bite doing something.
Canto Bite or the uprising on the resistance ship?
that Vegette.
Maybe Poe's getting shot by Leia.
That's later on, I think.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna say
So I'm saying. Oh well, hold on.
I don't think it's later because you got a lot after that. You got the Kylo versus Rey / killing.
This is the
Snoke?
longest Star Wars movie though, so
That's what I'm gonna guess is Poe getting shot by Leia
I'm just saying.
because Crate and Canto Bite. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
I'm just gonna say Canto Bite and they're like on the fucking horse things, whatever the fuck they're called.
the Faviers.
I actually don't know what they're called.
the
Don't beat me up for not knowing that. What are they? 5 years? That sounds familiar. Okay.
So 66 minutes into episode 8. What
Fabiano.
scene is happening? Get your imagines in. Submit
You're
your
saying-
guests.
Post shot. I'm saying riding the Fabians on Canto Bite, and then we have to wait for him.
Faviers. Whatever. Fabian is a guy's name.
Fabio.
That's what I thought you said the first time.
Oh.
Caden's
shit.
guessing Maz, where they're looking for Red Palm Bloom.
Well, Maz is only in one scene, so he's.
What if she specified something other, like he always has his willy out.
His zipper's always down.
His zipper's always down, that pisser.
He's got paint stains on his jeans.
He's got paint stains.
I'm gonna go with the second force time between Rey and Kylo when she's under the Falcon when it's raining.
God, there's so much that happens.
Okay.
But that's
We're-
only like a minute long, so that could easily be like the next scene or the scene before.
What happens if we're
So
all a
frustrating.
half hour off?
A half hour. Then we close the game down for
This is
further
really
notice.
hard.
Yeah, it is very difficult.
All right,
Very
here we
hard.
go. Let's check this.
Hour 6 minutes in.
Sometimes I scrub through for guess the scene, and then I just get distracted by Star Wars being the greatest thing of all time.
And you fail.
Sorry, I just want to see this really quick.
Unbalanced. Bested by a girl who had never held a lightsaber. You failed.
Dude, seeing that in theaters was so fucking incredible.
Anytime I
It
see
was like, that's a force power we've never even thought of before. Like, it was just great.
There's also
it's Force Lightning.
there's also a lot of
the
arrogance. Like I think the Emperor was arrogant, but he was more arrogant behind, like in the shadows. Arrogant, like he knows he's strong, but Snoke almost talks shit. So it's a cool look on it. All right, Holdo's already in charge.
She takes over at
Cha-ching.
37. Finn and Rose are meeting at 40. Maz was at 43
Oh,
there, so
okay.
you lost, Caden.
I'm getting close. We're getting close.
The
Oh,
lessons at 50.
Canto
They're on
Bite.
Canto Bite.
How on point am I again?
Their second ship is getting
Oh,
Boom!
fuck.
Oh no, Kerner, not again.
Got it right again. Okay, I need to get a life. We need to.
So
know.
we're looking at DJ.
I'm like right on. Jeez,
Yeah, so 106 exactly is when Rose is letting them out, the fathiers, out of the cage.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty much as good as it gets.
It's fucking
I
ridiculous.
need to get a life. Okay,
I need to get a
I'm
life.
done. Bye.
Damn.
That's just a good guess. I got. Yeah.
Those are cool animals. I'm happy that they introduced something like that. That's fine.
I'm just annoyed that they can break through buildings with their head.
I know.
I think that's pretty fucking stupid.
And plus, I remember when we saw
Poor
this
kid.
the second time, Cody went and took a piss. I'm like, it's been about an hour, and Cody's going to take a piss.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the chase scene. I'm going to go relieve myself.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm going to go take a nap.
That actually helped me. I'm like, oh yeah, I was about an hour in.
We're with the resistance.
All right, well, what was your answers? Did you win or did you lose or did you submit anything in the first place? How'd you do?
They're always playing on the heartstrings of the enslaved children's.
Always.
You want
Star
things
Wars,
to be
man.
better? Come with me, baby.
Why did I just realized how dumb those capes look on those security people?
And the helmets.
It looks really dumb.
It fits,
Go-
though, because
go-
everything
go-
on Canto Bites.
Whoa! I just noticed something.
What?
They must have hid in the pens and closed the gates again. The gates just opened back up.
No, they didn't open the gate. They came through the sewer. They
what?
crawled up through the manhole. That's how they got in there.
They opened the gate. Go back. Rose opened the gate, and that's when they saw the kid in the pen with him. And then right there.
Oh, you're talking about the gates to like each cage.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you meant like the big door.
So they closed right there, and we go back. Keep going back.
Continuity error.
Yeah, so they open right there, but go back.
I don't wonder why they did that.
But right here,
Yeah, they're all.
she opens it.
She opens up one.
I guess one.
I always took it as that one.
Yeah,
up
she
one.
opens up. I guess maybe it is just that one.
So they climb on the motherfucker and then they close the door again, just
Yeah.
to make
I
sure
think you're
nothing looks
overanalyzing
like
it,
it's
yeah.
out of place.
Yeah, so they open one. Okay.
Continuity errors. This movie is ruined. Ryan Johnson is a failure. Let's make a
What-
YouTube
what-
channel about
what-
this one scene ruining the
I was gonna
franchise.
say, what's the timestamp of Poe getting shot? I think that's
Send that
pretty later on.
Send that information to Geeks and Gamers.
Oh God.
You could really use that. All right, what's up? What else is up?
That's it. That's all we got.
I lost
Show over.
once again.
I got it perfect 2 weeks in a row. I gotta stop watching this shit
When's the last time you did watch episode 8? By the way.
all the way through. Fuck.
Been a while for me.
Trying to think. Actually, no. For his his bachelor party thing. Then
My bachelor party.
yeah. Where was that at? That house we rented for the weekend.
Mount Vernon.
Yeah. That Thursday night when I was like analyzing it, I was like drunk. I was like, and you like took a video of me. I'm like, dude, what are you?
You guys forgot to deliver my pizza. Savage.
That's right.
That was hilarious. No, I took a video of you watching beer league clips by yourself, laughing to yourself,
Oh.
and like mouthing the quotes to yourself, and then laughing afterwards. It's funny. Good stuff.
But you also took a video of me, of watching The Last Jedi.
I take videos of you all the time, Colonel. Sometimes you don't even realize it.
Cartoon character. Oh, man.
I want to make a cartoon about Kerner, like Bluntman and Chronic, but it's Kerner.
Mm-hmm.
Kerner man and
Blonic.
edibles. Edible man and uh-oh.
Kerner is edible,
away from
man.
those.
Edible man and uh-oh.
Just watch me on my adventures. They just put a GoPro on my head and just watch me go.
It's just looking down, and you see his hands like looking for things, like looking for a towel.
I'm just
for like
thinking
a half hour.
I'm just thinking like Mama when she's sleeping in Waterboy. Savage.
Yeah, well,
No. We put that movie on like halfway through. And we
It's
continue.
good shit, man.
That surprisingly holds up very well.
The best part is when Dick Clark comes on.
Look, Mama.
Look, Mama, it's the
devil.
devil.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the new YouTube show.
Probably
Look,
that.
Mama,
Probably
it's
that.
the
And
devil.
just the gorilla reference. Bobby, they ever catch that? The gorilla that escaped from the zoo and punch you in
Punch
the
you in
eye?
the eye. No, Mama.
The search continues.
We don't need to.
Search continues.
And later on, she puts up a wanted sign. Gorilla.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
All right.
man.
That's enough. We should talk about Star Wars. We haven't done a lot of that. I listened back to last episode, which episode 200. Woo woo.
Worst episode
Thanks,
yet.
Tommy Boy, for joining us. But no, you mostly talked
Mass
about
Effect.
Mass Effect, Game of Thrones, and just video games,
Dark Souls,
in
yeah.
general. So yeah, it's been a while, and I've been self-admittedly been out of a Star Wars mood for the past like 2 months.
How's that possible?
Because I go in waves. Like, you get so balls deep around Celebration. I'm overloaded with Star Wars stuff, and I need to like tailor it back a little bit.
Because I think the difference is you go balls deep in other shit too, and this is like the only thing I geek out on. So I'm just always, it's never off.
True. We need to get Kerner some new hobbies.
Like Lord of the Rings.
I have not watched Lord of the Rings in a while.
Batman I like, but I'm not like.
But I was thinking just like I haven't been on the video game train either. But I don't know. I've just been not feeling it.
So Star Wars, I booted up Republic Commando again. I was kind of playing through that a little bit. I was probably about halfway through the game when I restarted it.
Yes.
I booted it back up today or yesterday or whatever.
Yes.
It's a solid game. It holds up all right. It's more difficult than you would imagine.
So yeah, you were dying. You were dying quite a bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really fucking hard.
And you're good at video games too, so I was surprised. I was like,
not.
Well, there's once they
you guys
send
both
out,
are very good at video games.
once they send out the super battle droids, they're impossibly strong. The super battle droids are stronger than the droidicas by quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of a flaw.
It is a flaw because it's a group of 4. Obviously, you get Republic Commando, so you're the leader of the 4
Delta Squad.
But you can obviously you go snipe over there, you go set this depth charge or whatever, blah blah blah. But you can also target enemies and say, okay, super battle droid's coming at us, everybody shoot him. And it'll take a good 15 seconds to shoot that one motherfucker down. Sometimes there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm in a hallway. There's nothing to hide behind. And if I go too far back, I can't shoot them. It's too far away.
Yeah.
So you have to be like on top of them. You're not extremely mobile. And your brethren, it's like one hit and they go down. And you're over there trying to fucking
CPR,
get them back
everybody.
up. Yeah, giving them mouth to mouth while the other 2 fucks blow each other in the corner because it's the last minutes of their life.
Yeah, I remember that being like an issue with that game is like the difficulty. Because when it's like that and the super battle droids are just so hard to take down and there's like 4 of them, it's not even like fun difficult. It's like you just made it obnoxiously hard.
Yeah.
And then you're just standing there like mowing people down for like 3 minutes till you can move through the door.
It seemed pretty repetitive, and all the maps look the fucking same. Well, of course, you said I was watching when you happened to be just on those type of missions, but
Yeah, because he said all the maps look the same, but the missions are broke up. So you'll get onto like a separatist ship, and there'll be like 6 missions in a row on that one separatist ship. So you'll go in and like plant the bomb, and then another one will be like getting through this hallway to save this person. The bomb goes off. Now the thing's going down. And you got to get off the ship or something. But on the way out, you got to get this goddamn data off the iPad in the bridge. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? We should have did that first and then blew the goddamn thing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's weird too. It takes so long to plant the shit. You got to like do it for 10 seconds. That's what I was trying to think. Is that the only first-person shooter Star Wars game? Like,
I mean, Battlefront, you can go first person.
I'm saying that's strictly first person.
Yeah.
Like, I know Jedi Outcast starts off as like the worst first person shooter ever. It does.
Yeah.
So
Dark Forces starts off first person. But again, in that game, I think I was on a separatist ship, and it was having me go from hangar to hangar and blowing them up. But in these hangars, they would drop these, I don't even know what you call them, but they would open up, and basically super battle droids would be produced by these boxes. And the only way to get rid of them is you have to walk up, and it's 20 seconds of setting this charge on this box while it's opening up 2 at a time or coming out of it. And you're like, dude, I have all of my guys shooting these fuckers right next to me, and I'm still getting bashed in the bollocks. So.
Yeah, that sounds obnoxious. That's one of those where I tried to, when they made all those backwards compatible, I was like, oh, hell yeah, Republic Commando. And I went back and tried to play it, and I was like, never mind. No.
That was one I never played. Did you play it back in the day? I was too busy with Battlefront 2, KOTOR 2. No, I'm saying...
I used to play it back in the day, and I got into it again. It's so hard. Did you used to play it back in the day?
Kenner, it's triggered.
You could have played
so mad.
Memory lost from the metal show last night.
No, I was...
Can't hear me properly. You're still bleeding.
I know, I am listening. I was saying...
Did you pick up your puke in the room?
We're just giving you shit. I know what you mean.
I meant, like, did you
Yes,
play it
I
back
did. I never beat it back in the day.
We never
I
played
did play it.
Okay.
No, we never played it as a group. I actually didn't play it in high school. I played it in college with Butterclone.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't particularly remember owning it for my... No, that's a lie. I had it for my original Xbox.
I never did.
That game The story of it kind of holds up quite well. The gameplay does not. It's very clunky, and like I said, there's certain things that.
Oh, that's the
Touchy one, huh?
yeah.
There's certain aspects of it that don't make sense, like the super battle droids are. It's no joke, probably like 4 times stronger than the droidicas.
Yeah, it doesn't make
So
sense.
it's just
Yeah,
it's a
it's
bitch.
madness.
It's a
Or
bitch.
in the movies, the Jedi are afraid of droidicas.
Jedi taking over.
That is weird. Like
That's just one movie though.
No.
so,
Episode 3 also.
I mean, they're in there, yeah, but
Destroyers.
they don't like sprint away from them.
could you imagine Star Wars making sense, where the droidicas have shield
never. That would
the
never
shield the droidicas have shield generators in the first episode 1. Maybe troopers or dark troopers have shield generators built into them, or super battle droids later on have shield generators. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They got a budget. They can't give everyone fucking shields.
Well, I mean,
You
that's
could. They gave all the
kind
droidicas shield generators.
That's just made them look cool.
There's only 20 of them. We'll just throw them
Well,
on.
where does it end? Then there's just a shield around everything in the life.
Yeah, that's
And
kind
you
of.
can't shoot anybody.
That's what makes them special.
The other thing in Republic Commando that I actually did like is they touch upon projectile weapons, and I thought that was so cool because I don't think it was that game that I read something on that. I thought it was like one of the Darth Bane books touched upon that. Like he came across a downed ship or like an abandoned ship, and it was so primitive that he found projectile guns. I might be remembering wrong, but there was a novel that they came across, and I never heard about projectile guns in the Star Wars universe until today again. And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
There was
It's like old tech, you mean?
yeah, but it was old tech in a way that made sense because it was shooting like canisters of laser, so it would like blow up. I guess you're shooting something, and then it would
I was waiting for that.
laser.
Laser.
Sorry. You knew that was coming.
But-
Using this
Laser.
laser.
But Trandoshans were using that type of technology. so-
Trandoshan, it sounds better.
Transhidan.
The train station.
I know it's Trando. That sounds cool.
Speaking of train.
Train stations, projectiles. Yeah, so outside of that, it's just a fun game. It's overly difficult, but you get through it.
Just fucking fly!
And what's weird too is those Trandoshans didn't look like Trandoshans.
No, they
looked
looked like small
They
Gamorreans.
look like reptiles.
There were
running around.
Trandoshans in Republic Commando?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't look like Bosk.
I think they're set up more like pirates because they take over like separatist ships. But also, I guess they were fighting with the battle droids. So like, how does that work? I don't know. Republic Commando, Trandoshans.
They're like green.
Yeah, look at those fucking hulks.
Doesn't make any sense. See, that's
Like, okay, that one actually looks a little more, but it's like a gorilla
not, looks
reptile.
nothing like Bosk. But
What?
he does have the three toes.
Is
like
it one of
Bosk.
those things where like the species or the planet has two different
Must
maybe.
be.
like Mon Calamari has the Moncals and they have the Quarrens? Are these just like the crazier version on the Transhidan planet? Trandosha.
Nar Shaddaa is their planet, right? At least they're in KOTOR 2. They had Trandoshans.
I don't know if that's true.
No, it's true. I played KOTOR 2.
Slaver, Trandoshan Slaver. Damn. Getting political with it.
Maybe they just have just like beefier versions of them.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Maybe Bosk is skinny
They're green.
Trandoshan.
But Bosk is like gold.
That is true.
Bosk is
Well,
like,
like-
the
like
Bosk
an
is like
orc.
the color of Snoke's fucking robe.
There's regular orcs and then there's fucking giant orcs. Maybe they're just a couple giant Trandoshans. They have them do the harder labor.
You also, it could be like a class thing. Like there's warrior classes of Trandoshans and they're like beefier and,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm looking up Transhidan.
Understand what I'm
right
putting
now.
down?
You feel me?
Are you
Feel
purchasing
you
what
feel
I'm
saying?
selling?
You fucking around with
See,
what I'm
first
talking
thing
about?
that comes
Yeah, he
up.
is. It's almost like he was born in the desert of his planet.
You cleaning up what I'm vomiting?
The only similarity is the feet. 3 feet or 3
His
Home
feet-
world is Trandosha.
His
Oh.
feet are also fucked. Kind
Nar-
of boots you got.
Why are they all over
Look at
Nar
his
Shaddaa?
feet.
Yeah, they're
He just
pretty
looks like he's wearing
outrageous.
orc feet.
Popular pages, Darth Nihilus.
Yeah, because it's like his pants are supposed to end, but it almost. I think these are obviously boots from set, so it looks like his skin is like wider out than his jeans are.
Out of control.
That's funny.
Interesting. Whoa, I never noticed their hands.
Yeah, they got 3 fingers. It's like their feet. It's weird.
Sorry.
Wow.
How do they pull a trigger?
Actually, that's a really good question. Do you ever think about that? You'd have to
They
have
were-
a special weapon
they
designed for them,
They literally look
Not
like
necessarily.
they're
trigger-wise.
They're flipping someone off all the time.
He just has to have the grip the right way because, I mean, he still has, like, the little claw is basically a finger. He can still pull the trigger. You can see it. He's holding his gun right there.
ruin Star Wars.
His boots, Trandoshan boots, ruin
Yeah.
my experience.
Yeah, their homeworld is from Trandosha.
Pull up Trandoshan KOTOR 2. I keep pronouncing it wrong.
Trandoshan.
You're pronouncing it wrong from the first time you pronounced it wrong.
I know.
So you've always been wrong.
Harshada.
Other than goddamn guess the scene.
I think you spelled it wrong.
Don't worry, this computer's smarter than me.
I was just going to say search.
Oh, it's in the hut system. So it's not a homeworld to the huts,
Smuggler's Moon.
Trandoshans.
but it was basically run by the huts.
Smugglers. Oh, that's why. Because in the game, the Trandoshans were just fucking assholes. Smugglers. That makes sense.
Yeah. There you go. It all connects. It
I always-
all circles back.
I always forget about the Jedi Master Ethkoth.
Who?
The Zabrak Jedi.
Oh, God. Me too.
He's cool.
Why am I not putting together even who that is?
There's like
We need-
3
we-
fruit flies in
we
here
need
right
a
now.
cat.
It's pissing me off.
We need Eddie. Eddie.
What were you just about to ask me to look up?
Nothing. I was just wanting to.
Oh, Ethkoth.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What that is?
Oh yeah, I know who that is. Duh. He gets.
I always forget he's a Zabrak, though.
He's
Yeah, because he's not tattooed.
He's
And
in-
and he's got kind of more subtle horns.
He's only. Is he only in episode 1?
I think he dies in episode 2 in the arena.
He's got that awkward ass hair.
His hair looks terrible.
He's got that, like,
Like he's an evil villain in Power Rangers, where it's just like,
He
wear
looks like-
this wig and just scream. All right.
yeah.
He looks like Bo Derek's cousin. What the heck?
Whoa, he faces off against Vader? Wait, that doesn't make sense. That means he lived through
the
Order 66?
The only scene I know is the one where he peers over in episode 1, which was just right there. Hunt for Ethkoth.
Yeah, clearly he
He survived.
survived. He must have been killed by Vader later on. Oh, wait, go back.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so he survived Order 66. Dropped his former life, changed his name, and joined the Church of the Ganthic Enlightenment.
As a priest.
Huh.
Interesting.
He also fell in love.
Can't do that.
I love how it says he also fell in love with another Zabrak named Mira, who eventually became pregnant. Because they can't say, like, he fell in love with this chick and boned her.
Well, that's what sometimes happens when you fall in
He
love.
intercoursed her until pregnancy.
Interesting. This is probably just from a comic run.
So that confirms that Jedis like to fuck. We talked about that last week.
Everybody likes to. It's just a matter of if
Immediately-
they're allowed to.
Immediately after escaping the Jedi grips, he banged the closest Zabrak.
As soon as Order 66 was over, he's like, well, the Jedi are gone, so I can fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going down to level 1313.
Where's
Find
that?
some strange.
Kiadi Moody might be dead, but at least I can bang now. Sweet.
I got to remember what the other genitalia look like so I can go searching.
I need a fucking encyclopedia on Coruscant. It's too many species.
I'll have to go into the ancient scripts of the Jedi Council, the forbidden section.
Ancient Jedi text.
Just got sketch drawings of Zabrak genitalia so we can reference. Is this does it match? Yeah, all right.
Did the genitalia vary as much as the horns?
In color too, I guess.
Shit.
Here it is. What does it look like, Kerner?
What else you got?
I know you
Zabrak genitalia? I have no idea.
Pornhub / Zabrak.
Not into that. I know there's some weird shit out there, but not looking at that. What?
I know there's weird shit, but I've never come across it. I just know there
I
is.
just know there must be. There has to be.
There has to be. I've thought about it. Never seen it though. I might have starred in one, but I don't remember.
Wasn't there.
Don't recall.
I was projecting. I wasn't there.
Exactly. That's the excuse for everything. Oh, I was doppelgangering. That really wasn't me.
What else is up with you guys?
Yeah, why are you here?
Rolling the dice. Haven't been here since New Year's. Well, unless you count April, I was here for like a night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
Ready
don't-
for
I don't
a
count that.
celebration.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that either.
We
You
are.
guys looking forward to celebration?
We're
Anaheim?
we're a year away, aren't we?
I am.
It's going to be August 2020 in Anaheim Convention Center, conveniently located across the street from Disneyland, California.
You know what? This is my thought. This is either going to be the best or the worst.
What do you
that
mean?
we've ever been to, because it's going to be post sagas, so they have a lot. There's a lot ahead, but there's not going to be anything launched next year at all, other than the series, which is going to be cool. But depending on how that goes, it could be very cool.
Well,
like the Mandalorian. Oh, that comes out this year.
It comes out in November. We have so much this year.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
But there's nothing next year that they can really announce until like, hey, 2 years from now, this movie's coming out.
Well,
Like,
so D23 is the expo that Disney has every year, along with Comic-Con. So they release some stuff at Comic-Con. But I think Shinobi was saying in our group chat that a lot of the new info is going to come from D23. And that's August of this year, I think. But that's an interesting point. You bringing up like the attendance maybe and like the vibes around Celebration is like once the saga movies are totally done, is Celebration going to be as dope as it has been? I wonder how many of those people that go to Celebration, like I feel like that's a pretty big commitment. It's like a casual Star Wars fan that has only seen the films and that's it. Might
they're not going to that.
shell out cash to go to like that kind of convention. So I would assume that everybody that goes there is going to keep going there because they're diehard Star Wars fans.
Unless they're a local, just happens,
That's my
who
prediction.
happens to live close by. But
well, it's like
that's
our
true too.
it's like our Luke Skywalker fan's going to continue to go. He's out of it.
Fuck those fans.
he's already out of
I'm
it.
just
Everyone-
asking.
I'm just
Everybody
kidding.
has favorites, and
I know.
if someone's favorite is Luke Skywalker, there's very little to look forward to in that realm.
That's true.
Or Leia, or Han, or Chewie.
Commander Cody was only in like 1/4 of one movie. I still go to
3.
Star Wars stuff.
That's your fault for liking him, though. Your
Thanks
fault.
for announcing which movie it was.
I had to
Episode
confirm.
3.
Yeah. you know.
Episode 3.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm not geeked yet. It's too far
A
away.
year away.
I'm more geeked for The Mandalorian.
They had the 3 things this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian, Jedi Fallen Order, and then obviously Rise of Skywalker.
God, Fallen Order, man. That's.
I'm
There's all.
concerned with
This is a tipping point.
It's gonna be a tumultuous winter season.
This is good. This is going to be a tipping point because we can't just sit here and everything be like good but not perfect. Because a lot of people hated it.
We can't accept that. Yeah,
It can't be mediocre. It's either got. It's got to get to
gotta
a
really
point.
blow it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
it-
thought
it-
you guys were talking about the game. You're referring to.
Well,
We
but
are.
the game, the series, in Episode 9. I mean, there's a lot.
Riding on it.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on it.
Yeah, I know Battlefront 2 is very controversial.
It's okay.
Obviously, we've
It's
talked.
gotten a lot better since launch.
It's true,
But
it's still not that great, and we've talked a lot about that already. So I won't go too much into that. But I would say that there was the controversy that really sparked things, especially for the Star Wars fan community. And Fallen Order is going to be the make or break point, because if they, after all of that nonsense, and they still fuck this game up, then things are going to be in dire situations. So
They
I
can't-
think there's a lot riding on it.
they can't continue with EA.
No.
No.
If they do, it's gonna be lose-lose. EA is gonna continue to get a bad rap, and they're not gonna get any crazy good things going forward. And Star Wars is just being wasted.
Yeah, I agree. There's so much more potential for Star Wars games than just these,
Yeah,
big
what's
budget making money stuff.
that one photo you pull up, 2005, like all the games that came out that year.
It's 2019, and I'm playing Republic
It's
Commando.
very
That's an
strange.
issue.
I don't understand how gaming. I admittedly didn't have a Xbox 360 or a PS3, and it's amazing how, to me, gaming has gone downhill. Like it's.
I would like to jump back into Battlefront a little bit. I know our boy Jared swapped over from PlayStation to Xbox, so we have more players that can play.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm out of town this whole week, but I do want to kind of dive back in because there's been an update since we last played. Naboo is now on there for Capital Supremacy.
Oh, you
There's a
haven't played
couple
that
other
yet?
changes.
Yeah.
God, you haven't played in a while.
It's
then.
all right. It's the same thing. It's the exact same map.
My issue with Capital Supremacy, some of those rounds take way too long. I think they might have fixed that. But
My issue is that no matter what planet you're on, every time you go up to the ship, it's the same ship
thing.
every time.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
So 50% of Capital Supremacy is boring as fuck.
Then nothing changes. Yeah.
They should have just made goddamn. I don't want to fucking.
I like the command post.
Should have made conquest mode and just conquest mode. That's it.
Hey, at least they do have heroes versus villains.
That's true. They fixed that. I haven't played the new version of it though.
It's just the targeting system's gone. So
Yeah, so it's just a
I think
30
you
kill
start
count?
with- yeah, 30 or 25. I think they've changed it. I forget, but
Oh, it's just open.
it's just open.
So you just
Oh,
count
that's
to
cool.
30 kills. Yeah.
See? Step 1. Make a game. Step 2. Don't fuck it up.
Target acquired, gone. That was so annoying because people
Yeah.
were just like when someone was Boba Fett and they were the target, it's like, well, here we go. This fuckers are gonna fly around like a dick.
But we act like the original Battlefront 2 was perfect. When you go heroes versus villains and there's just Sidious is in a group shocking each other and they're not doing that fucking thing. You're
That's
like,
true, but that was 2003.
Yeah.
2005.
You're talking about on
Tatooine.
On Tatooine, yeah.
Yeah, they would like
mode.
shock their friends.
Ooh, yeah.
As if Force Lightning's gonna like give him a health buff or something.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Because that's what I hated. If I got like hit real hard by, let's call it Luke.
Sorry.
I
think just cut people off now.
I would like jump away from Luke, and if I accidentally landed in a goddamn shock party, then I'm dead. But only by accident.
Only
they
by
weren't,
accident.
They weren't
you never
trying to
died
kill
on
me.
purpose.
I've never died on purpose, except for Ayla. Goddamn.
What was your highest kill count with Anakin on that mode?
Anakin was my highest.
It was like 108 or something.
Yeah.
I got into 120s at one point.
There were a couple rounds for me, and you guys are better than me, where I almost went through a whole round without dying as Anakin. Because you can just force choke people, and you
got to get lucky because
over and over.
To get to like 120, 115, 110, you have to like come across people constantly. And if you get to a corner of the map and there's nobody, now you're doubling back. And it takes
you're wasting a lot of time.
30 seconds to find someone.
Yeah, that was the hardest part about that one is just finding a lot of more targets. Because you could increase, when you go into the settings before you launch something, you can increase the waves, and like the amount of troops and everything. Like
really?
Conquest mode?
I don't think I ever did
know that.
But I don't think you could do that for the assault mode.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of locked in.
Yeah, because you could, I think it was 200 up to 250. Yeah.
No, I think it went from 100 to 1,000.
What?
Yeah, you could make it a long fucking map.
I never did that.
Like Conquest would count down from, well, I think it counted up. I was thinking of Battlefront. But you could set it from like a score of 100 to all the way to 1,000.
Yeah. It'd just take forever. Yep.
Yes.
I'm working on my gaming manifesto. Just kidding.
Should be working on that sunscreen application.
Yeah, you guys can't see this on here, but he missed a few spots, so he has like a burn like right here and then one above his eyebrow.
It'll heal in like a week.
Heal. Bacta. Just use the Bacta.
Yeah, you need to jump in a Bacta tank at home. What if we had those? That'd be dope.
Dude, that's kind of what cryotherapy is, right? No, it's not. It kind of reminds me of it, though.
I've never done one of those like cylindrical ones. I've only done like the room, where the whole room's like negative 250. And you can just walk around the room for like 2 minutes.
I've never done it in general.
I've never done it.
You should. It's good. It's fun.
Cold,
sir. Well, it's negative 250, so.
Oh, dear God. Okay, you guys want to get into Dooku? Count Dookus.
Yeah, so remind me of the very end because I was mainly listening to this audiobook while traveling, and I think I fell asleep on a flight like towards the very end of the audiobook, like the last 2 chapters.
I was listening to the audiobook while I was driving, then I fell asleep, so I don't remember.
Well,
that's where I thought you were going with it.
Traveling, not necessarily.
On an airplane.
He essentially goes back to Sereno, saves or helps his people, and literally calls Yoda and says, "Look, I'm done being a Jedi. I'm no longer Jedi Master Dooku. I'm Count Dooku, and I'm done."
Good. That's savage.
So it jumps around a lot. It's clearly a young adult, which was kind of cringy. I'll give my overall rating at the end of this discussion, but starts off, he's being trained as a youngling. He becomes a Padawan. He gets chosen by Yoda, which he doesn't expect and or want at that time. There was another Jedi Master, a female, I forget her name.
She had some dark side info, and he wanted that.
Yeah,
he wanted that Veged.
For real? She had dark.
She was a little more, yeah. Also, it gets the cool thing that they do discuss is like the different lifestyles and or perception, the different ideals that walk around the Jedi Council constantly. Like everybody thinks that Yoda, like everybody's close to Yoda in this similar mindset.
Yeah.
But everybody's way different.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that Yoda like does not agree with and other Jedi Masters are completely doing all day.
Yeah.
So it does kind of explain, or I guess broaden the Jedi a little bit.
Can you pull up the book for me? I'm just trying to remember.
It's only an audiobook.
What do you mean pull up the book?
Like what the cover looks like or anything?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. Yeah.
It changes a little that I recently thought That Dooku.
That's right. Okay.
I assume that Dooku more like walked away from the Jedi, and that was it. Like he saw the downfall. I guess the biggest difference was there was clear things where he was either being manipulated or truly fell to the dark side several times.
Is that Asajj?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's narrated by Asajj. It's kind of weird. So there's like an underlying. She's doing research for Dooku, and she comes across these like audio tapes that he was sending his sister when he was a Jedi, which he wasn't supposed to do. So she goes through, and that's kind of the different scenes. She'll start off like reading this or listening to this audio clip of him talking to his sister.
It's like his own little journal.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So that's how they walk through his life. She'll jump like 30 clips and then find another one or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see her point of view because she's not a true Sith. She's just kind of in between, and she's following him because he's got obviously crazy power.
She wants to be a Sith, but
yeah, but she
from the cartoon. I mean, that's all I know.
Yeah, she's
I'm talking
kind of
the old school cartoon.
Yeah, she's kind of in between because she's got a Jedi master. I didn't know that she was trained as a Jedi at one point.
Yeah.
And then her master's in her head and like constantly talking to her. So it's like a second conscience.
I think she killed him.
No, he died and she was picked up by someone else. Yeah, she didn't kill him.
Oh.
So, but that was like a weird thing that like she would talk to herself and then he would answer her in her mind, and it's like you could kind of see that in the Clone Wars. She would be like talking her way through stuff by herself.
Yeah.
So that I think it added a little
Cool
bit to
insight,
Asajj. Yeah, it was kind of cool. The Dooku stuff kind of irked me. So Sifo Dyas is a main or prominent character in this book. He's kind of a whining bitch, to be honest. And he doesn't do much, and he calls goddamn Count Dooku "do." Why'd you do this? Oh fuck no, you did not
That's
just
weird.
call. Oh, it's terrible.
Dude, sounds. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's his nickname for him.
Do yeah. So let's just break it up because there's the first third is him as a Padawan, and they're literally Hogwartsing it around, like breaking into the library and shit. Fine, yeah, the restricted section. The second half,
He got his invisibility cloak.
he did.
oh, is that? Oh, the cloak from Clone Wars. Same thing. No.
I don't
No,
know.
he wears.
How do you know which one it is? How can you see it?
I know he has some sorcery thing he wears in that one episode.
Sorcerers.
The pajamas?
Yeah, I'm not describing it well. I
Sith
guess.
ritual leggings.
There's an episode of the Clone Wars where they're like, what's the episode where Sifo Dyas is getting tortured in Clone Wars? He's like literally getting tortured, and he's like, I don't know how to describe it. He like
Torture?
he almost like looks blue for some reason.
Blue balls torture?
The Sith ritual of blue balls. Every female knows that one.
I'm looking up Dooku Dark Ritual.
Well, that's Clone Wars from.
Yeah, but is that what you're talking about?
This is where they're shocking that like bird bath.
Yeah, that's the episode I'm talking about.
Fucking
Bird bath, shitting all over my Sith dodge. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean the next thing I would say search is just search Sifo Dyas.
that skin does not look great.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Well, they did a really good job of like converting the cartoon Dooku into the old one. I just think I don't like the outfit at all. Looks
Also-
like a buccaneer like suit and like some fucking
So what was the one that you said?
King Arthur shoulder pads.
What was the one from the book called?
What one from the book?
The cloak or whatever.
There was no cloak.
There was no father.
What were you talking about then?
He made it up.
I was joking because invisibility
Oh.
cloaks from Harry Potter.
Oh, jeez, you guys.
Dear God.
Oh. Right over my head.
What was I gonna say? Oh, quick side note: they are coming out with a paper version of the book,
Okay.
so definitely gonna pick that up because I want to see the spelling of names, and it's nice to have like a physical reference to the storyline.
And no
everything.
hillbilly accents to any of
There's
the
just
Jedi.
that one guy. I didn't
Count Dooku. Good to see you there,
didn't
pal.
expect to see you here, feller. I did like that Qui-Gon was in it. They glossed over a lot of like Dooku actually training Qui-Gon and everything.
Oh yeah.
But he was in it as a Padawan, and then you see him later in the book too, as he's already passed on from Dooku, and he's a knight. And It's cool.
I thought the voice actor for Qui-Gon was perfect. I thought the actual acting was perfect. Like it sounded like that's stuff that he would say. You know, he was very calm about it, but almost like, dude, if you're fucking up, it's okay. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's cool. And if anybody hasn't listened to it yet, it's narrated by a full cast. And what that means is usually an audiobook has one narrator. And they do all the narration. They do all the voices. It's kind of cringe sometimes, especially if it's a male voice actor and then there's a girl's line. Like all the Hermione lines from the Harry Potter audiobooks are just so weird.
Jesus.
But this one has a full cast. So Asajj is basically the narrator. And then you have Dooku, Sifo Dyas. All the characters have their own voice actor. And it's really well done. Great music and everything, sound effects. It's nice.
So, like, is there any lightsaber fights? And there's like lightsaber sound effect?
Not a single lightsaber fight that I can remember.
There's a duel at the council. Remember, because he has to fight Sifo, right?
Oh, so there's like a proving tournament, and it's like maybe 30 seconds of the book.
Okay.
And it's
not much.
There's not really any lightsaber usage at all, except for the like very end, the like last 20 minutes, he slices.
And dices.
So
And wices.
I guess the biggest difference is I assumed that he kind of used both sides. Not that he was like a Revan character, but he saw the downfalls, whether it was like a dream or something. He saw the weaknesses of the Jedi, and I figured he'd just walk away and kind of explore, do something that he needed. Throughout the book, several times he like clearly falls to the dark side and starts doing crazy shit. And then he like tries to come back from it, but he's never the same, which is fine. It's just different than I originally thought.
Does it segue into Sidious finding him? Because Sidious...
There's like, so he has like premonitions, and I think at one point you hear like a Vader breath, and Sidious like cackling a little bit, and it's sprinkled in there. Because I think Sifo...
Flash forwarding kind of.
Yeah, flash forwarding. Sifo also starts having visions, and they erase his whole character like halfway through the book. They're just like, he's kind of gone crazy, and he's just having visions, and they kind of plug him in, and he's like, don't do it, you're going to fall. And then he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, and walk away.
I meant foreshadowing. My bad. I said
Shadowing.
flash forwarding. I meant foreshadowing.
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 What were your... I mean, you forget the whole book, so what were your thoughts?
I missed the very end, but I think, overall my consensus is what you've touched on. Cool insight into some of the Jedi Council goings-on, cool insight into Dooku and his past, but it is young adult, so it's not the most engaging and exciting. Like, I wasn't on the edge of my seat ever, I feel.
It was very shallow
It
story-wise.
felt very much like a reference of Dooku's life. Which is something, as a Dooku fan, I've wanted for a while, but it just wasn't that exciting of a book.
It's legitimately, as it was set up, a reference.
Yeah.
Through audio logs.
True.
So it's like there was no tying together. There was no underlying story other than he meets his sister.
Well, the underlying story is that two things are happening to him. One, he discovers that he has a past and a family and a history, which most Jedi don't get to know about. Mm-hmm. So that is a conflict for him. And two, he's really fucking smart. He's the best duelist in the galaxy, and he's a really good Jedi. So when he notices things going wrong, he, as a good person, wants to change the things that the Jedi Council is doing to make them better. And he's butting heads with everybody in the council throughout the whole thing. So you have those two elements going side by side as we go through. It starts when he's like 14 or 16 or something. And it goes all the way through till he leaves.
So I speech to text while I was listening to it in my car. Don't do it. You'll run over.
I'm not even sure what that means.
But
talk to text.
Run over
Talk to text on the phone. But so I have some bullet points here as I was listening in on the second half of the audiobook. Something that Yoda said that I really... This is a quote from Yoda, and it pissed me off because from my point of view, this is exactly what the Sith do. But it says Jedi never control; they influence and persuade. And I was like, you're describing Sidious. He influenced a lot of people and persuaded that the Jedi were bad.
Is he talking about like when you mind trick somebody, you're not controlling them, you're just persuading them?
It
Is
was
that what he meant?
it was along the lines of they don't go in and they're not warriors. It was along those lines,
But
it
they're
was,
advisors. They don't go
they're
into the council and they say, Senate, you should do this. They're just like...
It's like if two people were at war, they would go down and be like, look, I don't think you should do this, blah, 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 but they don't actually get involved.
Yeah.
But
I'm
the
with
way
that.
but the way that it was put was they influence and persuade, which was like, that's a direct
Shouldn't it
connection
be
to...
persuade and influence we do? He's not speaking like he usually speaks.
Christ almighty.
Doesn't sound like Yoda to me.
So this
Not
is
my Yoda.
Not my...
Not my Yoda. So this is one of the things that Dooku says, like basically against the Jedi Order, and I think at this point he was already a Jedi Master. And he says the Sith are meant to protect the galaxy, yet they remove themselves from it.
Yeah, I love that line.
So Count Dooku is hunting Sith artifacts and hears voices saying master, apprentice, and other relationships. That's what we were just talking about, where it doesn't really... It's the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Like, so he's looking or hunting Sith artifacts for several different reasons. One was the other Sith master that he wanted to be trained by was interested in that. Because basically, Yoda says, the Sith are gone, we don't need to prepare for them. And this other Jedi master who Dooku's with half the time was like, no, we should probably find those Sith artifacts before someone else does and uses them for evil. So it was kind of that tug of war between just leave them be and, we should prepare.
I mean, that's the Sith's, well, that's the Sith's go-to. I mean, at least Sidious's go-to is, just being in the shadows and not, planning. Always planning. We'll see what his plan is in episode 9. He planned his death.
Oh, it's not listed here. I was going to look up characters so I could remember that Jedi Master's name, but it's not listed here for some reason.
That
So
sucks
this is
because
the person that...
she's in it a lot.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, look at that. Narrated by full cast.
Costana?
Yeah, Costana. So
Jedi Master
Sifo
Costana.
Diaz gets trained by Costana.
Yeah.
The
And then-
script will be released October 1st, 2019.
That
So-
must be the paper version.
Yeah.
Moving along right through this.
Tell
I-
me about it.
I
Move
actually-
along.
I actually don't particularly remember when this happens or what it's referencing, but it was in the book at some point where a species said that they use death magic and that your blood will open our eyes.
What?
And I was like, what kind of fucking craziness?
What?
So I guess my point, my thoughts on the whole death magic, blood magic, or whatever they were referencing to was a certain point of view. So maybe they were using the Force just in a certain way, and they didn't know it as the Force. They knew it themselves as blood magic. Because if you're on this outer rim planet and the Force is not a thing, you don't know about it.
Right.
But you're starting to do things with something. You got to put a name to it. So they're just referencing the Force as this blood magic. But there was like a Sith ritual kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Maxie Big, the Force.
Also, it says this species was thought to be extinct. So he goes to a planet, I'm assuming, and they're doing this crazy shit. And first of all, they were never supposed to be there,
Yeah.
let alone be conducting goddamn Sith rituals.
Dogmatic, there might have been the Jedi.
So it was kind of foreshadowing again that the Sith are still around.
Yeah.
They're thought to be
Some
extinct.
element of them is still around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good info in general, I would say.
So Castana also, they get in some trouble where I think it was on that planet, and they get really busted up. Sifo Dyas, Castana, and Dooku are on a mission together. And I think it was against this species, and they were trying to figure shit out. And I think Sifo and Dooku get hurt, and Castana says, I'm going to conduct this cleansing ritual. I was like, what the fuck is a cleansing ritual? And I looked it up, and she mentions it again. She says the ritual consists of three things: the light, the dark, and balance.
Sounds like Mortis.
So it actually like long and short of it, like cocooned them in like a healing bubble, so they were able to like get away or protect themselves and start to feel better. But basically, Castana said this is not a ritual that any Jedi know except for myself, because I went back and looked at ancient Jedi stuff. This is stuff that's ignored by the Council right now. So basically, she says we have forgotten so much. Like as a Jedi, we have forgotten so much because we push that shit aside. We don't when it's not important anymore.
Yeah.
But I love that shit. I don't know. It's really cool to me.
Yeah. So that was a good spot. Shinobi is saying that persuasion and influence are your only tools as a Jedi because you're a negotiator only.
That's not true at all. You have something called a lightsaber.
Sidious used deception in all of his influence and persuasion.
Aggressive negotiations.
Negotiations with a lightsaber. That's just bad script writing.
That's Anakin being a savage.
Turn to your Jedi Code Manual, section 14.9, aggressive negotiations. I don't think that was part of the training.
I truly,
It's just Anakin.
deeply
Focus on bullet point 1 where it says don't do it.
Yes, aggressive negotiations is off all of your lists of.
When considering this, don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
When thinking about this, stop.
Anakin circling the wrong bubble on his.
Anakin, drop.
Negotiate.
Well, the thing is, that book changed the way Dooku turned. Changed.
Yeah, well, I guess either it changed it and or solidified it in a slightly different way. But it was hard tied into his family. Like, he came across his sister early on, and then it kind of dragged him back to Sereno.
Which I like.
Which I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Because, the Jedi obviously have a family, but almost all of them don't know what their history is.
Well, the Jedi Council, the Jedi is supposed to be the family.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. But they
Yeah.
obviously take kids from across the galaxy. And they
From the
cut
family,
them
so-
off from the family. So the fact that it popped up in Dooku's life unintentionally, will of the Force, obviously,
Yeah.
if you're thinking about it. But I thought it was cool because we don't really get to see that perspective from any Jedi.
Yep. There's a lot of cringe in it, to be honest. I'm gonna give my rating here in a minute, but yeah, it jumped around, and there was no oh shit moment ever in the entire book.
True. Well, I thought yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, there was some like teachings that I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Some of the stuff that we touched upon, I don't know. I was like, oh, it opened my eyes a little bit. Like, I understand how the council was working pre-episode 1. So it was like, it wasn't all fun and games and like glory. Like, people were at odds even inside the council. So
Doesn't he meet Sidious? He meets Palpatine.
I think he comes across, Senator Palpatine. Senator Palpatine.
Because he has a stint where he's like the liaison in the Senate for the Jedi Council. So he's meeting senators and stuff. So
yeah,
I think that's where he comes across Palpatine.
Yeah. But it solidifies Dooku's going back to his family and protecting them.
Yeah.
Along with he's at odds with Yoda because he's like, we're supposed to be protectors of the Republic, yet we don't get involved.
Right.
So we have these lightsaber weapons, but we can't use them.
Right.
So he's like, I can go down and make a difference because it got personal because Sereno was in trouble and he's like, I'm just gonna go down and help him. And Yoda said, no, we're not. That's not our role. He's like, fuck you. It is my role if I make it my goddamn role.
Yeah.
Go blow your nose.
Well, Jedi, they're not supposed to fight. I mean,
That's where the dark side thing comes in, though. Like dark side in quotation marks, because if that was another planet where his family wasn't from, he might have agreed with Yoda and let it slide. But because his family was there and he knew that, the motion got in the way, and that made him act differently than he normally would as a Jedi. I think that's probably what Yoda was going after. It's like, you feel differently about this, Dooku, because your family's there, and it's unfortunate that you know that because we're supposed to, treat you like slaves as kids and cut you off from everything. But yeah, that made a difference.
So I'm gonna reference Boondock Saints because it's a direct reference here. Because at the beginning of Boondock Saints, it says, what's worse than evil men is the indifference of good men and people standing by and doing nothing. And that's exactly what happened to the Jedi. They stood by and said, we can't get involved. They were too ingrained into the politics and how people viewed them. And we can't get involved because then we make decisions for the civilization. It's like, well, that's kind of your role, bitch.
It is weird how their attitude is. Like, that's why when in fucking KOTOR, when Revan and Malak go off and fight the Mandalorians, they're like, fuck you guys, we're going to fight. We're not going to sit around and...
It is, yeah. It's a good...
Same thing.
Good reference, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. Overall rating of the book, do you have one?
I'd probably say a 1.
Out of 3.
One out of
It
3.
seems like you guys are kind of about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I get put it out of 3, it's gonna be 1. Out of 10, I like to do that a little bit with movies and books. 5.
Really?
Average.
Yeah, it was like if you're really into Dooku, you might like
I mean-
it. Actually, if you're really into Dooku, you might hate it.
You listen to the whole thing, so that's good.
Well, it took me a while, but there's no aha moment. There's no like holy shit moment.
How many
which-
hours is it?
20.
Oh, damn.
It's a long book, and it jumps around.
It's not that long.
Yeah,
I
it
mean-
is.
No, it's not.
I'll put money on it.
You're drunk as a high person.
He's had 2 sips of beer. He's wasted.
Let me see here. Count Dooku.
The Jedi contradict themselves a lot, though. At the beginning of episode 2, Mace says, "We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers."
Oh, you're right.
2 hours later, they're
Wait,
fighting on a battlefield, and they're generals.
I just saw like the length of it.
I think it's 6.5 hours.
God, you're way off. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know where I came up with
It's like
that.
14
It's like
hours.
400 minutes.
It's 6.5 hours.
400 minutes is 120 minutes, 2 hours.
It's 6.5 hours. I just looked at it.
Okay.
Oh, on Audible.
So
I
yeah,
probably got
it's-
mad Audible credits
it's a-
right now,
it's a
too, by the way.
It's a strong one. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It didn't add enough for me to get through 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
There was no aha moment. Sifo Dyas was a bitch. The strong thing holding it all together was the inner workings of the Jedi and how people were at odds with each other.
Why would they have someone call him Do?
It was
Sounds really dumb.
What's his nickname?
Hey, Do, how you doing, Do?
It's like we call you Kerner instead of Nick.
dude. It was like
No, that's
Instead
not
of
the
Nick
same.
Mark.
no joke. It was like 2 hours of that. Do.
Dooku. It's only
The other-
2 more fucking letters.
The other thing about there wasn't like a smooth transition at all because it was set up by audio recordings. It would jump from him being like 10 years old to 22 to like 50. And it was just, you're like, what, how old? The only reference
Yeah.
point they would say is like in conversation, Jedi Master Dooku. And you're like, oh, okay, now we're
Oh,
20
now
years
we-
ahead,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, young adult. That's all I got to say. It didn't add a lot. But I just want to I'm trying to keep it real. I don't want to just love everything because it was okay.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Lord Wildman is in the chat. He says, as Kreia would say, apathy is death. What use is the Jedi's power and ability if they don't ever use it?
Yeah.
It's true.
Dude,
Very true.
But-
Kreia's like the female version of Sidious, man. She's
But
a savage.
it is that teetering point where you get involved or get too involved and let your own emotions control.
Emotions. Yeah, I
you-
mean,
you-
I can totally understand where Yoda's coming from in general, but I can also totally understand how he was so blindsided by Sidious
All
and
about
everything else.
Point of view.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also too much restriction is never good. But I know what, like when Yoda tells people not to get involved in things, I know what he's going for. Because like if you get too emotionally attached to this, then you can easily slip to the dark side. But they went the other direction and they got too detached from everything and they went totally like they had blinders on.
It's like, well, it's the indifference of good men. You're calling yourself great, but you're not upholding the standards and or the
Standard.
ideals. You know, like protecting the weak. Like we can't do that anymore because I'm Yoda.
Right.
Well, we're supposed to protect the weak.
Lord Wildman's calling you out, Kerner.
What do you say?
He said Kreia is nothing like Sidious. Kreia rejected the Sith.
Well, I'm saying more by the way she looks with the hood on and stuff.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Jeez Louise.
She's like a completely different character.
Yeah, but the hood and everything.
But she gets fucked up by Zion and Nihilus. She doesn't. I mean,
Spoiler.
Yeah, but she had a hood on.
this game's from 2004.
That's only 15 years ago, Kerner.
Dude, Nihilus and Zion fuck her up.
15 years ago.
15.
Time is a son of a bitch.
Only if you pay attention to it.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
You know what's funny is we base our entire lives off of the rotation of the Earth. We put numbers to it. That's the all time is.
Yeah.
Up, the sun's over here again.
Yeah.
It's today.
It's straight up. It's noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me. It's just like we cut it up just for what? Why?
If you didn't have
Well, it's interesting because you think on the surface level, like, yeah, time is constructed and humans just made up a system that makes sense. But then if you actually go back to what like ancient civilizations understood, is that there is a rotation and you is divisible by a certain number, and it does make sense that every rise and set of the sun is an actual day.
It's a measurement. It's a measurement of
Yeah.
of your life.
But it's rooted in something more than just like humans made it up. I mean,
Same with,
it's like a
days of the week.
like a law of the universe.
Like, why is today Sunday?
But it's not a law of the universe. It's a law of Earth.
Well,
other-
true. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. law
So
of Earth.
time on Mars would be completely different because it'd be divisible by another number, and you're rotating it slow. It's fucked, dude.
That's one of those tiny details that made me really fall in love with Mass Effect. Is when I was like going and scanning other planets, it would say like gravity based on Earth, like years of rotation compared to Earth. It was just interesting that every planet had its own little gravitational pull and rotation and timeline and all that fun stuff.
I recorded a quick like 20-25 minute patron only thing, and I discussed how I would like Star Wars to incorporate certain Mass Effect things.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
Ass and tits mainly.
Hire Drew.
more butts.
Well, that's right. That's not the game with all the
Give me those alien cheeks, baby.
Should we save the Wookiees butt cheeks?
butt cutscenes.
That's the jet, bro.
I can't make a decision unless I see yoga pants.
Was Ray going to be in yoga pants in episode 9? That's the question.
Nothing would get done if there was chicks in yoga pants.
That's
everywhere.
true. Nothing would ever get done.
Yeah, so if you guys want to hear that, or if you guys are huge fans of the show, we do extra stuff. We do extra stuff. I've been noticing I say that. We do extra stuff. We do extra. So we do extra stuff. That one was on my ride back from PA this week again. But a quick 25 minutes of me ranting about
Speaking
Mass
of
Effect.
time and ancient stuff, look how fucking bright the moon is right now.
That's not the moon, bro.
It is.
That's a space station.
That's a space station.
You knew that was
Damn
coming.
it.
You knew that was coming.
You're like, yes, it is. What else would it be?
That's a space station.
Holy shit, station.
My
too big to be a
favorite
station.
quoting of that is from Twister, when the guy shouts it. It's hilarious.
What
I'm
part in
not
Twister?
going to repeat it.
What part in Twister?
I think it's when they're waiting.
I love that movie. I'm just trying to think what part.
I've never seen it.
You know how they do the Twisters in like severity from like 1 all the way through 5?
Yeah, by the end of it, it's giant.
I think it's the third one.
There's a third Twister?
There's
No, I'm
sorry.
talking about the movie.
There's
So-
5. There's 5 tornadoes throughout the movie,
And they all get stronger
and it's like T1, T2, T. Yeah, all the way.
There's Helen Hunt.
I think it's the third one.
Does one of them liquefy and then like, is that in T2 or?
It's like a legit movie. It's
T101.
really good. It's a really good movie.
I love Twister so much. Which one is the one that happens at the drive-in theater when they're watching The Shining? Is that the T3 or the T4?
I didn't really know there was a ranking system of tornadoes in that movie.
Yeah, they talk about it. I got obsessed with natural disasters after I watched Twister. I was like, the fucking hurricane
I'd
system
say
is
that-
this.
that was-
the earthquake system is this.
That was the one that screwed up Helen Hunt's aunt's house too. That Twister. Remember that part? The dog.
Yeah, the one that happened at night.
The dog like comes out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the. Yeah.
Red meat, we crave sustenance. No, it's my favorite movie. That's not true. It's my favorite movie.
It's
I just like it a lot.
It's definitely not like. But there's Bill Paxton's in it. Phil Seymour Hoffman's in it.
Bill Paxton's in it.
Yeah. Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
The
Signs.
guy from Liar Liar. That's not Jim Carrey, but the other guy. He's the dickhead in that movie. Yeah, that's the guy from Saw too.
Oh, Carrie Ellis, yeah.
I forget his name. Yeah.
Also from Robin Hood Men in Tights. And then
Oh yeah.
He's a dick in that movie. In Twister.
the Cameron from Ferris Bueller is in it too. I always forget the actor's name.
Oh, that is him, isn't it? I actually never noticed that.
He's in Speed also.
That's right.
He's in that. It's good stuff.
I totally forgot about that.
It's good stuff.
God damn it.
I never correlated that. He's with the guy with the weird teeth and the backwards hat.
Teeth look like a graveyard.
No, he's
The producer from Wayne's World, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't say 2 or 1.
Oh, the producer.
Yeah.
I
Not,
thought-
not Rob Lowe.
Well,
The
Rob Lowe,
producer
and
guy.
in the second one, it's wow.
Foo Fighters.
I thought Chris Farley was the only one that had 2 different characters in Wayne's
That's
World.
not true.
Who
No,
else does?
the second one, there's another producer. They don't switch. Stop it.
No, Rob Lowe's not the producer. Rob Lowe's the executive or whatever. But the
Rib
guy
for
that's
her
actually
pleasure.
like producing the show, the bald dude.
Yeah.
Remember when Garth reads Rob Lowe's calendar? Take advantage of cable access show. Oh,
And exploit it.
I feel bad for those guys. Such an idiot. I feel bad for those guys.
I dropped my pen.
What?
I dropped my pen.
Dropped your pen.
You're right. Party on. That movie holds up surprisingly well too.
That's
true.
up there so high up.
Nail ya!
ah.
Oh man, we could go on and on about that stupid shit.
Party too hard, man. How do you know if he's gonna honk in the car?
This fruit fly is stronger than the goddamn droidicas
giving
in
you-
Republic Commando.
No honk guarantee.
Giving you a no honk guarantee.
He just nods.
You into this?
You partied too hard, man.
I love that's such a better word for hungover. Partied out.
Partied out, man.
I try to say that like every once in a while.
You
Like,
do
oh
good.
man, I'm partied out
I'm
today.
partied out.
Man, you do
Turner was
get
partied out this morning.
Like, yeah, I'm partied out. That's why I'm not. Yeah.
Partied out till about 11:30,
No, I got up at 9:30,
and then you took a nap.
then I laid back down. I was like, oh shit, it's 11 o'clock, 11:30. I know that's a bullshit excuse.
I get so critical of that. Like somebody will wake up and then like at 11 a.m. they're just like, oh, man, it's time for a nap. Like you've been up for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
The
Well,
day
this was
is
like
barely
this was like
even-
my only day to sleep in for a while, so I wanted to sleep in.
I understand it. I actually don't take a lot of naps anymore. In high school, I used to
take
take a
any.
nap, like an hour-long nap after every
'cause
day.
Fucking school started at 7 a.m. It was a joke.
7:18. I remember
7:18, and I wanted to shoot myself every morning. Dude, that was so early, unbelievably early.
Well, plus with the snow back home, man, you gotta wake up like 2 hours ahead of time to find your car in the driveway.
Dude, getting up that early every day sucks.
You gotta
so
take a
hard.
rib boat
I
to
was
your
little-
goddamn driveway.
I was literally half asleep the entire time.
I was half drunk half the time.
I was most drunk half. Wait, I don't remember any of it.
half
I
drunk
was
part
half,
of the time.
I was half asleep for like 4 years.
Yeah, I feel like that system is not
Too-
good for
it's
kids.
Not good because you actually that's the age when you need the most sleep.
It's not good for teachers either. Also, it's inefficient to cram people into a building for 9 months and like force them to learn these things.
Well, it's like, how efficient are you? Like at 7 a.m., how much are you actually
You're not.
obtaining? Like, okay, geometry. You're
I
like,
had-
fuck
I
this.
had
Zero.
I had a math class at 7 a.m. and it was so bad.
Shouts out to Mrs. Spiesman, who was my math teacher, who had cardboard cutouts of a bunch of Star Wars shit.
God, I haven't heard that name.
Because
forever.
Revenge of the Sith came out, and she got a bunch of cardboard cutouts from a theater or something once it was done. So she had like Yoda and Chewie and Vader in her classroom, and I was like, this is the best class ever.
So I had an English teacher who, Mrs. like Butterfree. She, she was in a Pink Floyd.
Butterfree, use your sleep powder. Butterfree.
She was in a Pink Floyd, so she would actually put on like Dark Side of the Moon every once in a while. Butter something. Butter.
I never
Butterfree.
had her. Beverly?
Beverly.
Wasn't there actually Miss Beverly? Wasn't there actually Miss
I love Donna.
Dude, I was
I was on top of her.
Quick side note on Dark Side of the Moon. We were out in Vegas. We stayed at that little teepee campsite thing in the desert, and it just had an edible. The stars were bright as fuck.
Oh, yeah, I saw
and
your
I played
post.
Dark Side of the Moon, and then Wish You Were Here, and then Animals, and it was just
So how many
like
da-
one of the most like nice, relaxing evenings of all time.
how many days were you there?
I was in Vegas for 4 days, and then we were in the desert for 2 days.
Okay, gotcha.
Just
So
2 quick nights in the fucking teepee.
that would be interesting.
I figured you'd go doors because Ratters.
Well, I think I saw a couple of your
Oh, I didn't. I think we listened to that on the drive back, but yeah, I
Did
was
you see the
listening
Naked
to, I was
Indian?
listening to Pink Floyd.
See the naked Indian?
I didn't. I'm safe. I didn't see him.
I'm safe.
Yeah, Jim Morrison. Did
Yeah.
you see Jim Morrison in your dream? That was a terrible
What did he
impersonation.
tell you?
That guy's voice. I love that guy's voice in that movie.
Wait,
Let
what
me
was your
tell
your
you.
question? You asked me how many nights. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just haven't talked. I know you had a couple WhatsApp posts about it, and I was just
Yeah,
curious.
it was cool.
Delectable.
Desert's really cool.
What was that? Oh, you mentioned earlier before we started recording that Dooku should have been in episode 1.
Oh yeah, I wish he was. It would have been so much more of an impact. If you think about it, they basically reset after episode 1.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But I guess where my mind was going after you said that, that's why I wanted to keep it
Jar Jar
for
supposed to
the
be the Sith
episode
Lord.
here, is it would show 2 downfalls of Jedi. So it'd be the slow downfall of Anakin, but also like an equal opposite where Dooku walks the fuck away, but also is an integral part. It just feels like Anakin was the only one to go to the dark side that's ever been, and then all of a sudden, so we
Except for
see
that-
4, 5, and 6.
that
We know Darth Vader. Anakin gets introduced in episode 1. So you're like, okay, I make the connection. Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Duh.
Everybody knows that.
And then all of a sudden in episode 2, they're like, oh wait, there's a whole nother Sith Lord, and he dies in the next one. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I think as you were saying that, I was ruminating. And if Dooku was in there from day one,
he should have been on the council. It would have been so much more of an impact.
That's what I'm saying.
Like next to Mace Windu, like third in command.
and then it would have been an interesting temptation for Anakin in episode 2 when Dooku was on the dark side. And then he has Obi-Wan, who is his mentor, but then Dooku's over here, Sith, and making a lot of fucking sense. Like, and Anakin's getting pulled in both directions.
But it would have been the same lineage too. Dooku, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin. You're in the same lineage.
Yeah.
So it would have been like even not
There's
blood, but
connections
yeah,
there,
there's deep connections there. And
Well, same with Obi-Wan.
and if only Obi-Wan had to explain why Dooku left, that would have been a crazy discussion. Also, if they had banter back and forth where Dooku was dropping actual knowledge to Anakin against, dude,
here's the tie. Think of this. Think of in episode 8 when Rey thinks that Luke is the best Jedi ever and she has to learn from him. And then once she realizes the truth about Kylo and she forces Luke to explain what happened, we could have had a similar type of emotion and a similar setup when Obi-Wan was telling Anakin all this time, stay away from Dooku, he's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. But then Dooku drops some actual knowledge about what happened, mentions Qui-Gon, mentions why he left the Jedi Order, and then Anakin has to come back, confront Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan lies to him, and then they get in a fucking tiff with each other.
So that could have been another from a certain point of view that he failed. Like Obi-Wan actually says that.
Yeah.
Well, from a certain point of view, that's what happened in his mind.
Yeah.
And it would have hard-tied the original trilogy to the prequels and it would have maybe perfected it where he failed with that message with Anakin, but actually did well with Luke.
Yeah.
So he overcame his own thing, trying to teach them. There would have been a lot more internal conflict between, and not everything's so fucking perfect in the Jedi Council. Like shit happens, but we don't see it outside of Darth Vader, outside of Anakin.
Right.
But it would have been cool to hear Obi-Wan telling Anakin and vilifying Tyrannus and even calling him Tyrannus. Maybe he could have said, no, Tyrannus killed Count Dooku.
There's a lot of twists you could do.
From a certain point of view.
There's a lot of different versions you could have done.
So when you think about it, then you go back to the whole, why did Lucas switch directions in the first place? And then you giving light on that Jar Jar theory.
Yeah, it does give it a little bit of legs because this is random. Like, just think about episode 2. Like he's like, goodbye. He's calling Mace Windu his old friend. Like, we should have saw that in episode 1. Them, next to each other on the council.
Wait, what?
Dooku and Mace?
Yeah. Mace Windu, or Dooku says, I'm sorry, old friend, when he commands the battle droids to shoot him.
Well, I mean, I'm okay with the idea of Dooku being kind of in the shadows and coming out of nowhere. I just don't think it was like brought up and then explained well enough. Like it makes sense. Like if that was a Jedi that fell to the dark side and then left, like the Jedi wouldn't want to bring it up at all. They want to keep it under wraps because it's embarrassing to them.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that like nobody knew about it.
But instead of making it a learning thing, they would have tried to cover it up like a bunch of political bitches.
Yeah.
Instead of saying this is why he left, he and explaining it, they just like, no, that didn't happen.
We just didn't get anything from Dooku's point of view very much. Like if I had read Labyrinth of Evil, that came after episode 2. So the kind of insight that you get in that book that makes a lot more sense for Dooku.
I mean, the little smidgen that you get in episode 2 when Obi-Wan's bound and Dooku's trying to drop knowledge to Obi-Wan, that could have happened to Anakin. If Anakin was bound and he would have, because he completely would have been like, no, that's not true. But Obi-Wan's quite a bit more close to Dooku through Qui-Gon.
Closer.
I don't know. It's interesting to think about. That's why when you brought it up, I was like, fuck, we'll talk about this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I think there's a lot of...
I've always thought, he should have been there.
It just would have layered it a lot more. There's more than just a downfall of Anakin. There is other issues, obvious issues in the Jedi Council, and it's like they kind of tried to sneak it in the back door. They're like, oh yeah, episode 2, Dooku's also a thing. You're like, wait.
Yeah, I think one of the complaints about the prequels is that there's 2 main characters. You have Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're both the main character. They're both kind of fighting for your attention the whole time.
Shit in episode 1.
I think that would have definitely helped. Giving Anakin
Obi-Wan a little bit, I guess.
Keeping Obi-Wan as the mentor and having Anakin have that weird relationship with Dooku. He's like the estranged uncle that actually has some wisdom to drop,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it is actually exactly like that. Because like your parents are like, don't talk, your
Don't
uncle's
talk to Uncle Tommy.
he's fucking crazy. And then you talk to him, he's like, oh,
You
I can
tried
actually
to diddle
use
me when I was 11. You wouldn't
Yeah.
stay the fuck away from him, please.
from a certain point of view.
It's weird. At one point, Uncle Owen.
Your genitalia tried to diddle my hand.
The force was moving in mysterious
Uncle-
ways, man.
God, fuck.
Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan at one point were actually brothers. At one point, then it got retconned.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, like he was planning to put that in the script and then he changed his mind.
No, it's actually like on shit. You can look it up.
Wait, when was that planned? In 4? You're saying?
Like OG or when they made the prequels?
I think like OG, I believe. I don't know.
Because that would have been that old. He would have been saying.
At one point, they were brothers.
Because Owen would have been saying that old hermit, and he would have been referring to his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to him. He's crazy.
Well, that means Obi-Wan was Vader's brother. And Obi-Wan
That's
is
what I mean.
Luke's
It got
nephew.
It got retconned. I'm just saying. You can look it up. It was actually on like a trading card.
Oh, like 77.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more
That
sense.
I don't know. I don't know the exact timetable.
They were clueless back then.
I just know some shit got retconned. Yeah.
Everything gets retconned.
Yep.
The other in the Dooku audio book, they don't. Mace isn't in it at all. So I was kind of thinking, like, is Mace that young? Like, is he new to the Jedi Council in like episode 1?
They probably just weren't able to focus on that many people. I do find it interesting that they brought in that new Jedi Master as part of the story instead of just using like, let's just take Adi Gallia or Eth Koth or somebody off the council and like give them a little bit of backstory too.
Yaddle. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yaddle's a savage.
No joke, because, I mean, she's...
All right, here's my goal for Celebration 2020.
You want to dress up as Yaddle?
I want a Yaddle toy.
You're gonna be
I want a Yaddle Black Series figure.
I want to see a sexy Yaddle cosplay.
No joke. As much as I'm not into collecting shit, I probably would get something like that just because that would be fun.
It's just funny as fuck.
Yeah. A Yaddle Black Series?
Yeah.
They
should
with a
release
lightsaber flying through the air?
Yeah, they should release that.
You could just tell because she's got like a pink bow tie. You're like, oh, that's Yoda. Wait, nope.
'Cause
that's Yaddle.
That's the thing about Yoda.
Kind of like Miss Pac-Man. She just has that.
The bow.
Yeah.
Yoda's species is unknown, so that kind of makes it. That kind of makes it dumb that there's another one just there. Like he's supposed to be unknown because Yoda's rare. That's like his species. He's unknown.
He's uncommon.
He's a holographic.
He's a holographic.
He's
rare.
unknown. That's why he's 800 years old and fine.
He's number 83 out of 82. He's extremely rare. Does not exist. Dooku.
Species unknown.
But so if we did go down that route and Dooku was from square one all the way through, he still gets killed by Anakin in 3. We wouldn't need Grievous. Or they could rework it where Grievous had a lesser role and he was quite a bit more just like military and not Sith.
It's more impactful to have one villain. So in a perfect world, for me at least, Darth Maul would have been the villain throughout the entire.
Because they could have
did
done
have one villain. You just had a bunch of henchmen.
Well, Sidious, yeah, I know.
You could have done like a dirge thing where instead of having crazy lightsabers and him knowing the ways of the Force by Count Dooku, I guess he wouldn't be necessary. I guess you could still put him in.
I'm okay with all that. I would say, if anything, maybe we just didn't get enough light on Palpatine / Sidious in the prequels to like make us really feel like he was the overall villain of the whole thing. That's kind of a similar complaint I have about Marvel with Thanos. Is like he had those few cameos and like the end credit scenes and all that, but until Infinity War, you didn't really know anything about him. So I would say, if anything, we should have just got some more insight on Palpatine throughout the first 3, just to make it seem like he was the big bad through the whole time.
As a hardcore, when I know, oh, that's the same actor, my boy Ian. But I'm
just talking about from a filmmaking perspective, is like to give more, because in 3 we jumped to 3 and all of a sudden he has like so many personal scenes with Anakin and he's dishing out knowledge and he's throwing up the opera sequence and all that stuff. Like we didn't have any of that in 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I mean.
You had words of encouragement. For sure.
Anakin, you're great.
In episode 2.
A great future you will have.
I believe we become the strongest of all the Jedi.
Sorry.
Even more powerful than Master Yoda.
Master Yoda.
Is that their only, in that whole movie, is that their only one-on-one interaction that I can think of?
Possibly.
Episode 2.
Possibly. Let's talk about the real savage is Jango Fett.
Yes.
What?
Jango Fett.
I didn't like that they retconned that him and Boba were not true Mandalorians. That bothers me.
Would have been okay if they weren't related.
What do you mean?
Well, that's
if
not going
Boba
anywhere.
was just also a Mandalorian. Like it wasn't because they retconned it that Boba was a clone.
I love that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking.
That who was a clone?
Boba's a clone.
Boba Fett.
I know he is. He's just a clone that was unaltered.
Yeah, but originally he was just a dude.
Yeah, originally he was just a dude in a suit.
Well, no shit. Jeez Louise.
What are you missing right now?
I literally just asked a question. What if he wasn't a clone? Well, yes.
I thought you said,
I know that.
I thought I misunderstood what you said. I'm sorry. I thought you said he was a clone. I forget it.
No, the tie-in with
Mobby.
Django and the donor for the clones and how badass the clones are in the first place because they're trained by ruthless bounty hunters. It's fucking sweet.
It is. So that's an interesting retcon, though. To have, first of all, a clone army that is based off of only one dude instead of, I don't know, if I was making a clone army, I would have specialists. And while you could, while you can, yeah, but they're all based off of one guy. I'm saying like if
you probably can't control the program if it's variable too much.
I'm just asking.
If they have like 6 different
I don't
donors,
know
they probably can't.
I don't know the production managing questions.
So they just vary them by like giving them certain cognitive functions.
We're
gonna
gonna
make these guys a little bit dumber so they don't talk to you.
This guy's gonna need glasses. Dumb down the. We gotta add big dick juice. We'll give him a scruffy hair instead.
Different hairstyles, yes.
And then Boba Fett is just like note for note Django clone. I think it's a cool concept. I like it.
Wouldn't.
But he was the only one unaltered. We've had this discussion about the clones.
I don't remember because there was one situation in the original stuff and then the Republic Commando series and then it's different shit in the Clone Wars cartoon. So I don't know, like, are the ARC troopers unaltered as well? And there's the Bad Batch that like they tried to like enhance certain things and they came out weird.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact
The
variants.
throwaway troopers that are just a pile of
Yeah.
half troopers.
Bad Batch is supposed to have a big role in the season 7 that's coming out for Disney Plus this year, which I'm excited for.
Wouldn't it be crazy if somehow, some way, Boba Fett actually had that Order 66 chip and he overcame it? You know what I'm talking about? The Order 66 chip where as soon as it was turned on, everybody was just like, kill. And then he started like, oh, we gotta do this.
You know what I just thought of?
Uh-oh, here we go.
It's what an emotional mindfuck it must have been that Palpatine tells Cody to initiate Order 66. And he's probably just like, yeah, this is just one of our contingency plans, no big deal. And then he initiates it, and then like the chip goes off, and then he was literally standing there loving Obi-Wan and flipped the switch for Order 66, and then all of a sudden he wants to shoot him down.
Yeah.
Like we didn't really get to see that from the clone's point of view, but like
It's almost like it had to like erase all memory.
Right.
Like clear cache and then just
yeah.
Well, in the Battlefront 2 video game from
Erase all
05,
browsing history.
you see the 501st perspective.
In what?
In the Battlefront 2, the 2005 campaign, you see their perspective. A lot of them had a hard time, like shooting some of their Jedi brethren.
I don't remember that.
I mean, it's in one of the books.
Some of the books too, yeah. So some of them did have a hard time with it.
Actually, the Rise
That's
of Rise of Darth Vader is one of them.
Yep.
They define. Actually, yeah, they defy that order.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, first of all, how does that even work?
Yep.
Boop. It's going right now.
Well, I think when that was written was before the chip thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't like the chip idea.
I don't like it either.
Like, it would have been cool to see most of the clones, especially all the normal troopers, obviously do that because they're more docile. They have less freedom or whatever based on how they were programmed. But it would have been cool to see like some of the ARC troopers and like the higher level guys be like,
Republic Commandos.
wait, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see that actually play out rather than have the chip situation.
Also, how sudden is it? Like, there's clones still on Camino, like making coffee, and they're like, it just activates, and they're like,
Must kill Jedi.
they just start shooting at walls.
Must murder Jedi.
I mean,
But it turns them into like droids. Jedi scum.
anybody
Like,
with a lightsaber shoot at, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's the way I take it.
that's what it is. Good day, Galaxy. Let's wrap this shit up. I'm getting tired. I've had enough of Kerner. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Kerner, you're not invited back. I don't think. I'm sorry.
So we had the high-end flannel by Levity Brewing. It's an American Wild Ale. Strong 1 out of 3. Very interesting. I would highly recommend anybody to try it, especially if you like sours. Yeah, very solid beer, but yeah, we're going to roll the dice with the 1.
Hell yeah.
Kerner killed it again.
Do you have any parting words?
I'm pissed. Pissed off.
If you guys want to see Kerner crowdsurfing for the first time ever, you can go join Patreon or
Patreon,
and we upload it into some shit. So
yeah.
But I will push our Patreon if you guys are fans of the show and want to hear any of the extra episodes that we put out for them. Head on over to Patreon. Search us up, Rogue Squad Pod, Rogan Squadron Pod, and
Joe Rogan
Squadron.
Cast Pod.
Bastard.
Do it. All right.
That's enough of that.
I don't want to even try about it.
Kerner, don't even.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Fuck you guys. Bye. I love you.